Students put up with a lot. I am loving these faces. I feel bad giving anybody a shout out because like then other people on the call feel awkward that they didn't get a personal shout out. But I have to shout out to like a former boss, right? Dr. James Lane. Welcome, Superintendent of Public Instruction for the Commonwealth. Super excited.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Excited to be here. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. And I see Mr. Bowling, our former executive director. Look at you here. I know you're excited to see the students.
Yeah, I want to say hi to all the former students over there at CodeRVA. It's great to see your faces. I see Josh. I see, oh man, I see them all. So I'm going to keep looking and scrolling through, see how you've changed. Great to see.
It's super exciting. And we have, again, I'm going to miss somebody if I name them, but we've got school board members, superintendents from partner divisions. I see, this is like an old episode of reading Romper Room. Again, Google it, students, but Romper Room, where the lady that hosted would always look out into her mirror and call the names of the people that she saw. And so I feel like I'm in an episode of Romper Room where I see our partners here. We've got school board members, division superintendents, we've got staff members, this is fantastic. So, all right, I think we're at the witching hour here. Mr. Vest, you want to take it away? I'll stop talking.
Yes, I am. You've made a CHIPS reference and now a Romper Room. So we're done with the joke scaffolding for our students and we are going to move forward. And as Ms. Goranson said, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you students for being here. And we're just really grateful for this opportunity. Of course, it's been a year to remember. We're in 2021 now, and these students have been doing all of this virtually and have not had the human connection that is so important in the high school years. Nonetheless, we have developed a bit of a family within this group and over the 6 weeks. And so I am happy with that alone and what that means for the future for them and all of us and everyone here that will definitely support us all moving forward. So I'm going to lay out today's schedule real quick. We're right on schedule to have the client work presentations get us to 2:30. We might be early on that, but we'll definitely be here for the bulk of the time doing client work presentations. This year we had students complete a passion project, create an app or a website prototype based on their interests or ideas. And then we'll just have some closing remarks at the end. So here's a quick breakdown for everyone, just so you can see your school district, so you can see students' former names. You can see the topic that is going to be discussed, and students, you can be reminded of when you're going to present. So here's the rough outline, and really just want to take a minute and give a special thanks to the clients and the partners that were involved in this. Students did client work for Black Men Read, Founders Mark, the CodeRVA, PTSA, and Upsilon New. So special thanks to you all for providing the real work for the students. And you can't forget the involvement and support that we'll get to specifically later from Startup Virginia, VCU Da Vinci Center, Major Clarity, and Max Potential for being there from the beginning and helping us start this thing. Okay, so audience participation. I'm just assuming that some of you probably have some other tabs open doing some things, and y'all are adults. I'm not one to tell you anything what to do or not to do, but we do have a feedback form that I would love to have each of you fill out for each student group as they are presenting. So it's only 2 questions, and only one you actually have to type something. The other is literally just clicking on a scale. So that would be much appreciated, and we'll go directly to them. The link will be in the chat in a second, unless Mr. Ellis, can you put that link in there now to the feedback form?
I sure can.
Thank you, sir. Oh, sorry. I'm going on script here. Let me pause for an extra minute here. I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Ellis, who has been here with me, listening to the crazy ideas and helping me sort them out into a manageable and systematic strategy for the internship. He's been there every day talking with the students, giving them feedback, supporting them any way that he can. And so while I get the official title of internship coordinator, Mr. Ellis is definitely one doing the exact same thing with all the students. So shout out to you, Mr. Ellis.
Thank you.
So that's a feedback form. During the presentations, students will have about 10 minutes to make their presentation, and then we're reserving 5 minutes for Q&A for the specific clients. If we go over or under that, it's fine, it's not a big deal. But if we do go under, we would like to open up questions and comments, feedback to the rest of the audience members. So if you just see you got to say something, feel free to unmute, and if you talk too much, then we'll keep it moving to the next group. And then after all of this is done, we're going to show you some of the passion project videos. And you don't have to do anything there. You really do just get to sit back and enjoy the show. All right, so we are at the point where we're going to have our first presentation, which is going to be, I'll just let them go. They know who's first. So I will stop sharing my screen. And group one, the floor is yours.
Would you mind enabling screen sharing, please?
Well, I thought we already did that.
I just turned it on for you.
Thank you again, Mr. Ellis.
All right, so hello, my name is Naya, and my teammates are Tara, Nick, Michael, and Anna. So our client is Founders Mark, which is a organization that allows for young people to learn new skills for future development and employment, for problem solving, leadership, creativity, and the entrepreneurial skills needed to open your own business. So we have been tasked with the advertisement of the company through social media. This program is designed for students from 4th to 12th grade. However, marketing to these age groups can be quite difficult when the average teenager spends around 7 hours and 44 minutes on their phone a day.
We've decided to tackle this challenge through the social media platform TikTok. 32.5% of TikTok users are within the age range of 10 and 19, which is our target audience. In 2019 alone, TikTok had 33 million downloads, and this has skyrocketed in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. TikTok has been the comfort platform for all generations to stay connected during quarantine. The screen time spent on TikTok skyrocketed from an average of 52 minutes a day to 95 minutes a day, making it one of the most used social media platforms in 2020. Personally speaking, last week alone, I spent 33 hours and 12 minutes on TikTok out of 72 hours of phone usage, which is roughly 46% of my time. In order to make sure kids like myself are seeing the Founders Mark content during their time on the app, we've come up with a few hashtags that will not only reach the correct audience, but also organize the content featured on their page. Each of these categories can reach their prospective audiences as well as organize the information on the TikTok account. For more local audiences, using hashtags like Virginia and DMV in order to reach people in those areas. The larger audiences is to reach anyone and everyone on the platform and should be used for content that provides knowledge. The content-focused hashtags will allow for people to learn something new and can reach teachers and students alike. They are helpful for reaching audiences interested in the program from all over the world. There is also the option of creating your own hashtag like hashtag FoundersMark in order to sort your videos and start your own campaign.
So throughout our client work for Founders Mark, we initially started with individual rough sketches of what we each thought would be good to have in our ad, because beforehand we didn't know what type of ad, what platform, what sort of message, etc. But over time, those ideal aspects have been laid out throughout our documents and little pieces of work here and there, such as our PowerPoints and a Wii video sketch. But unfortunately, because of the struggle of finding footage and being able to compose the TikTok during the pandemic, we were not able to make our desired advertisement and so on as an evolving product of what our group has wanted. And through feedback from Founders Mark, our main solution has been condensed down to a themed calendar / roadmap sort of deal. So here is a calendar for posting TikToks and whatnot. So the content featured on this calendar can be tweaked depending on the events going on in the world and what feels right to be talked about during that time. So the squares, as you can see, the blue and yellow squares highlight content that is focused on things everyone should know when going into the workforce. The content posted will be helpful information and will draw in a larger audience. The green and pink squares that explain more about Founders Mark, as well as the people who work there, thus drawing attention to the company itself. As for the orange and gray squares, these are places to speak out on important issues or do something fun that isn't directly related to the company to draw in larger audiences, as well as show the company that the company can be fun and isn't strictly just business. Here we have posting times for the calendar. Knowing what days to post is important, but it's equally as important to know what times to post. So we did research on what times are most relevant to post for what days and have organized them here on the slide. You can use this chart to refer to when posting on the designated days. These times are ensured to get maximum exposure for the content, as they are the times that the audiences are most active on the platform.
Each of us have been assigned with different tasks throughout the internship. This has allowed for us to divide the work evenly among us while still getting things done. These roles aren't as strict in our case as they may be in the real world, but regardless, here's a brief summary of each role. Head of social fully understands the team's brand, product, or goal, along with understanding the team itself. Content creator. This role adds value to our message by creating something to actually show for it. Is more or less the team's fuel. Community manager interacts with the audience on a more personal level. Advertiser. This role is aware of social media and has a good sense of how it operates. Analyst. This role is more for people in tune with the logistics behind your team. Graphic designer / video editor. Creates visual content for your audience. This role goes hand in hand with your content creator and can help improve or polish the content creator's work. Influencer manager. This role applies to when influencers collab with businesses. And while my team has had many obstacles, we have found a way to overcome them and successfully create something great for this company. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing the content you choose to create in the future and seeing how your company grow.
Well done, group. I will let the client go from here and direct questions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kendall Morris, the founder of Founders Mark, but I also have on the call today Laura Bowser and Dave Romero are both here. So Laura and Dave, I'll start with a couple questions, but if you have some you want to ask as well, feel free to jump in. First of all, I have to commend you guys because what you're trying to do in this environment, no one's done before. So you are not only trying to learn and get your high school education, but you're actually developing a skill that I'm sitting in my office on Zoom every day, all day, and it's a business skill I need. So you are doing something that no other class has had to do before. So congratulations on that. As far as your recommendations go, one of the strengths that I think you brought up was pulling in data and helping me to understand why you were recommending the channel that you were recommending. So I really liked that aspect of it. One of the questions I had around the times of day, you had a chart that had specific time of day to post, and some were pink and some were green. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you got to those recommendations?
Yes, so our green squares, I believe, were in the morning and the red squares were in the afternoon. I figured it would be easier to color code them as that way it makes it easier than reading AM and PM. After several websites, we found the correlating like numbers to be those ones. Some of them were like slightly off, but obviously the posting times don't have to be like right on the dot exact, but just around that area is the most active times.
And did those times relate to the age group of the audience that we talked about? Or was it just broad across TikTok?
Mostly broad. There wasn't really a lot of data for specific generation or age groups. So it's mostly broad, but with the majority of TikTok users being in that age group, it's kind of, I'd say, a fair assumption.
One of the things we had talked about was actually creating the TikTok itself. And I was really interested in some of the ideas that you might have to connect to peers, young people. Can you talk about one or two of those concepts or ideas that you had in being able to put some content out on TikTok?
Sorry, I'm thinking. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. Initially, when I had a chance to talk to the team, you had some really starting ideas about what the type of TikTok videos should look like or what they should focus on. So maybe even looking at the content calendar that you created, maybe just describe one or two of those ideas for me about how I would turn that into a real TikTok.
Well, I can't say I can't speak too much on the calendar, but I will say, as for our initial idea, we were just kind of have like a broad TikTok that just reaches more younger people, tries to connect with them, seems relatable, that sort of idea. And I think what we were gonna show is just like general stock footage of Richmond and whatnot, and maybe some other stuff with like teacher-student interaction. But as you know, we did not get that far, and that's the best I can say.
Well, hey, we're all working towards getting as far as we can on these things. I'm going to toss it over to Dave. And Dave, do you have any questions for the group? Maybe not. Laura, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I actually have one question. First off, great presentation. I am addicted to TikTok, so telling me what times to post, probably not healthy. But I did have a question regarding the data. So is there any data that you found with regards to posting shorter versus longer TikToks?
Doing my research, I did not even think to look into that. However, I have noticed in my own time on TikTok, roughly like I'd say 15 to 30 seconds is likely to get more popular than it is for longer footage. I guess because our generation's kind of attention span has very dwindled and not a minute long.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all so much for putting work into this and learning about Founders Mark and helping to set me forward in how I reach young people.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all. Well done. And with that, we will quickly transition to group 2, which is also actually working with Founders Mark.
Wait, give me one sec.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are the Founders Mark Group, and this is our presentation.
Hello, my name is Michaela Nelson. My job was to do the presentation and the audio.
Hi, my name's Juan. I was the project manager. I gave everyone their roles, and we made sure that everyone was doing their work and that we were on task.
Hey, my name is Zachary. I was the artist. I was in control of the format and the color for the game.
Hi, my name is Ashley. Me and Juan were the coders for this game.
Sydney was not able to be here today, but she was the tester and made sure there were no bugs in our code. So we are CodeRVA Seniors. This is our second year of internship, and for our project, we were paired with Founders Mark, and we decided to create a game. Okay, so our mission, so Founders Mark mission is to develop lifetime skills such as creativity, leadership, critical thinking, and more.
Similar to the Founders Mark mission, our mission was to create something that would get teens to join Founders Mark. So for the problem, we found that there was a lack of user attention on the website. So the solution to this was for us to build a game which our age level teens would be have more attention towards the game rather than reading about it.
So the overview, we chose a game instead of a way quiz and survey. For one, because studies show that 75% of surveys fail. And the reason for that is because most people have bad history with surveys. They maybe didn't use the right platform or it's too many questions. Two, BuzzFeed found that teenagers in Generation Z would rather something be titled a game rather than a quiz. And Generation Z finds games more appealing than any other method around.
All right, so our process during this whole internship, we kind of wrote it down. So during our first week, we decided to redesign the website because kind of getting some information, we saw that it was kind of plain, and we stuck with that until week 2, and we came back and changed course, and we decided to like do a quiz game because we thought that it would be more appealing to like to the users, and it would be more interactive within the website with the users. And then during week 3 and 4, it was the actual production of the quiz game. We started doing like the questions and the coding. And then week 5 to 6, we were just doing some final testing and some final touches. And so during these 6 weeks of the internship, we all got to know each other a little bit more and understand how we work. And so we kind of had our little rating on the side. So like our communication, we had a little 5 out of 5. We got to work whenever we started the internship. We also had like this this chat that we used to have so we can talk to each other like after hours to continue working. Our progress, we had a little bit 4 out of 5 due to the fact that we had a little setback of changing to the quiz game rather than sticking to the website. But after that, we just progressively worked and it went well. And the appearance of our quiz, we gave it a 4 out of 5. We did our best, and we think it looks good. So we had our little testing phase for the quiz, and at first, for the quiz, we had no idea of what types of questions we were going to ask the users. So luckily, Ms. Morris came around and she gave us some ideas and on some questions that we should add. And then based on her feedback, we made some new questions, and then we sent them out to some other students in the internship for some feedback as well. After that, we tested the questions and we put it in the code, and we found some errors of how some of them weren't being input correctly, or it just wasn't working at all. And then week 5, we just finalized the code and then the questions. And so if I can show this, this is our main quiz. And we wanted to add some stuff, but this is just our main one. So it would be like the following questions will help us get a better look at how you view certain tasks. And there are no right or wrong answers. So just based on how you answer the quiz, it will give you like a different response. So then we have like, are you an organized person? You're allowed to choose whichever one you want. And we have like 10 questions, just so it's not like a super long quiz and then they're not interested. We have like some questions about cybersecurity, the work ethic, the way you are able to present yourself to others, your ability to like copy down notes. Are you able to receive criticism and take it in a positive or in a negative way? Do you work well with others? If you like in your way of working as well. Communication, another thing that Founders Mark focuses on. Let's see, so it'd be like communication, what's that? And like anyone can choose whatever they want. And then motivation as well, to see how they strive. And then based on how you complete the quiz, it will give you a different output saying that you did great, but here are some things that you might need to work on. And then hopefully Founders Mark can help you. And then based on that, it should allow the user to kind of pique interest into whether they want to join Founders Mark or not to help them with their workplace. And that is it.
All right, Ms. Morris.
All right. Well, first of all, that was a really fantastic presentation that you all put together. And I loved understanding what roles everyone played, and the self-evaluation throughout it was fantastic. So thank you for sharing that. You know, one thing that impressed me early on when we met was that you had already started coding this quiz and that you were developing a tool that could be utilized for generating student interest. So talk a little bit about, if you will, where this quiz will live. Where do you envision, how do you envision students finding it?
Well, what we think is that once, let's say, Founders Marks, the website gets a little bit more of an update, there will be a way that that quiz can be shown to the users, be like, oh, do you want to know how your work ethic would be in a workplace? And this is kind of like a base quiz, and it could be changed within Founders Mark, but mainly this why we made this quiz was to appeal to the users so that they can use it and then gain attraction to Founders Mark. If Founders Mark wants to use it in another way within their actual course, then that's also available, but it's just mainly for the website so that they can be interested.
I saw that you put positive reinforcement for the students who get all the way through and complete the quiz. Tell me a little bit more about what's the end answer for a student. So congratulations, you've completed the quiz. And so what? What do you want them to know after they've completed that quiz?
So once you finish the quiz, it would give you like, oh, you're an analyzer, or you're an influencer, or like something that shows the way that you carry yourself, your work ethic and all that. And then it would say like, do you want to join Founders Mark? And it would take you to a link to apply for Founders Mark.
I like that, Ashley. And I think one thing, I think we talked about this together when I got to meet with you, I think would make it really strong is taking that and saying you're an analyzer, an influencer, and here's a skill that you can work on a little bit more that we can help you with in Founders Mark. But you guys thought all the way through from where does it live to what do I want you to do when you complete it, to help me generate interest with more young people so we can get more students learning about these life skills. Really great. Laura, is there anything that you wanted to ask?
No, I think this is fantastic. I'd love to just sort of hear a little bit more about the thinking behind why 10 questions. Were there additional questions that y'all cut, or were there fewer that you want to add? Just the thinking that went into that.
Oh yeah, there were questions that we put our like opinions on it, and then we just chose 10 questions because, like I said before, a lot of people like attention span is not built for 20 plus questions or really more than 10. And studies show that if it's really more than 10, then a lot of people like it'll flop, like people wouldn't take it serious. So yeah, we did cut multiple questions, and we just really went off of how many who like what question. Like we used Miss Moore's and we used our students to pick out which 10. We got them to rate them, and we also got them to put their feedback on them.
It's awesome. Thank you.
And if I might add as well, some questions included that they would be able to like text in, like type in their answers. And some other ones would have been like a scale of 1 to 10, but we just kind of stuck to like a ABCD type of thing, not make it so complicated. But those were like those types of questions. If we could maybe have some more time, we can implement those, but we just decided to stick to one thing.
And we will also have like scenario questions, like about how would you take criticism from like a boss or anything, and like stuff like that.
Really great thought into all of this. Thank you.
All right, great job, everyone. We're moving on to group number 3. So I will let you all have the floor.
Hello, everyone. So this is the Upsilon New project proposal that my team and I have come up with. My team and I consist of myself, Ricardo Kunkel, Kendall Towns, who is a designer and writer, Brandon Irvin, who is a designer, Ricky Wilson, who's also a designer and editor, and then Jacob Hunt, who was a designer and somewhat of a developer. First off, I would like to thank Mr. Vest for the opportunity he gave us and the opportunity we got to work for Upsilon New. And our experience and what we learned a lot during the internship, better communication within our team. We learned throughout the process creating milestones and deliverables is extremely important. And we learned more stuff about us and who we are as our strengths and weaknesses, and learning not to just work in a work environment or a friendly environment, but as a work environment. So quick summary of our client. Upsilon New is historically Black. They were a chapter of a historically Black Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And they are relatively community-based, relying on donations and providing scholarships for upcoming African-American male freshmen into college and providing support for local businesses in the greater Richmond area. And they were approved of in October of 1971. We originally got the website in week 1, and we just took a little quick tour of it, looked around it, noted the most important things that we thought we could adjust and help fix for you guys. A complex donation page was one thing we noted that was really, really just prominent within the website. The UI and the UX weren't exactly the best, and it did have a somewhat dated design and look, and something that you guys requested of us was a more prominent story of who you were as a organization. And so right here we have just a few pictures of what the original website looked like. This is their donation page, and if you clicked it, it would take you to a PDF, and you would have to fill that PDF out and print it and mail it. And this was just their homepage. If you click on their website, you can click on the shield to enter, and this is what it would look like. And so based on that previous information, we developed a solution for you of creating a more modern website. We've went through a lot of fraternities and a lot of other organizational pages of what they looked like and how their donation pages look like, and then also designing a better donation process and a better donation page so that people would be able to go through it easily without having to struggle or being unconvinced to follow through with the donation process. And then obviously telling the story of Upsilon New through the donation pages and that website that we designed was a very important. So through the first 2 weeks, were our first 2 prototypes that we came up with. You can see here on the left side, this was a later design. On the right side, this was, I think, the very first design we came up with in the first day. Just a basic thing, and then more editing on the left. And throughout the next 2 or 3 weeks, we continued to adjust our prototypes by talking to Mr. Vest, Mr. Stevens, who was a member of Omega Sci-Fi and Upsilon Nu. And we continued to adjust that, and through a practice presentation, we got feedback and continued to adjust our prototypes through the last few weeks to finalize them and make them look official, as in what would be best for Upsilon Nu. And what we came up with is this final website, this final prototype of a better page. You have Upsilon Nu, you have pictures, you have organized text and everything. And it just looks compatible, and it doesn't look hurting to the eye. And the donation page is also very simple, just a quick form, an amount, and then just send it straight through Upsilon Nu to their bank or however account you want to send it to. And just a few little pop-ups that we thought would be fun just to include because we had the time to just work on them throughout the weeks. And just as a continuation of how to adjust the website, or if you wanted to continue with us as a team, continue renovation. That means just continuing throughout all the pages and continuing throughout everything that was included in the website, and actually putting it into code. And then hiring personnel to continue to stay up to date on processes of modern websites and styles of modern websites. And then funding that team to get the best opportunities and software that they can to make the best of the best. That's what we had for you guys. Any questions?
Ricardo, thank you very much. This is John Rivers with Omega Sci-Fi, Upsilon Nu chapter. We really appreciate the effort that you all put into this. Just a quick question for you regarding the donations page. Is there any concern on the back end regarding financial, security? I think one of the things you saw was it became manual because you extract the form from the website to allow an individual to apply their financial information before they donate. Any concerns or thoughts about how we protect the individuals securely if they're including their financial information on the website? And I realize a lot of, or most, financial websites do that, but just wanted your thoughts on that.
Jacob, do you want to answer?
Well,
that?
if I can respond to that, we had decided for two main payment transaction ways to do it. So one of them was through PayPal, and then the other one was through a debit or / credit card, which you could input the information, and then that information would go directly to whatever contact you wanted, either being your bank or PayPal. And then through the PayPal, it just goes directly through their secure network, so we don't have to do anything from that side. So back end on ours, we do not keep any of the information, so there'd be no financial risk at all down the road. If you guys were to get hacked or us were to get hacked, nothing would ever happen.
Okay, thank you. So it would mean establishing a chapter PayPal if that doesn't exist already.
Yes,
and
sir.
making sure the link directly to that PayPal was included there on the site so that the extraction from the website was directly into PayPal and they take on the security responsibility.
Yes, sir. So we don't keep anything back end.
Excellent. Jacob, Ricardo, thank you, gentlemen, very much. Really appreciate the folks there.
Good afternoon, team. Gregory Perm, chairman of Upsilon Nu Social Action and Scholarship Foundation. Guys, thank you all for doing what you've done. And question I have is, as you talk about continued renovation, is there an opportunity for you guys to either train the trainer, because we have some technical savvy individuals in the chapter, or as you stated, there may be an opportunity for us to request your talents at a fee. We are a charitable organization. The funds we receive, we give back to the community. So we're in the business of reducing costs, but we also in the business of uplifting. So you young people, we appreciate your time, but want to know about how we keep the website updated, and if there's an opportunity for internship, or it may just be an opportunity for us to continue to support you guys financially.
Yes, sir. There would be a complete opportunity for that group-wise. We had actually talked about that from the very beginning. If that was possible through you guys, most of us had created mock-up designs for the main website, So as you saw in the presentation, we created like our first homepage, and we went deeper into like the history, like the scholarships and the talent hunt. And then we all laid out that information. So if we did want to go further with you guys, it would just be a quick, easy process. We just have to code it and then deliver the final product to you.
Thanks, Jake.
No problem.
We actually, we're ahead of schedule a bit, so I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but if anyone from the audience is not directly related to Upsilon Nu had any questions or comments, we do have a couple of minutes for that. But if not, I'll just go ahead and jump to group 4.
Just wanted to say that was a great compliment from Upsilon Nu to the team. Interested in sticking with them.
Thank you. Is that it?
I have a question. I always like to hear what were the challenges and what was the hardest part of the work and the project. Can you think back on that and reflect and share with us what was the most difficult part of this work?
From the very beginning, we did not have like a set role for each person. So for the first 2 weeks, sadly to say, we didn't get a lot of work done because we didn't know exactly what everyone was doing. We were all just like floating around. And then finally, at the 3rd week, we had decided to like figure out that the deadline was like coming up. So we need to like get our stuff together. So we finally decided, hey, this is what everyone's going to do. And then we all got the work done by the deadline. And that was our final product.
That's great. Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We're going to move on to group 4. So group 4, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joshua Lieber, and me and Ava Berger are presenting on behalf of the PTSA internship group. So our client mainly here is obviously the PTSA of CodeRVA Regional High School, and we're just here to tell you more about what we did, how we accomplished it, and hopefully continue this in the future. So what are we changing? So the first thing we had to do was to look at our current existing website that is for the PTSA. And from there, we were like, okay, so we need to mainly focus on the design and the donations and such forth to get more interest in our school group so we can have more funding for the school and the students. So this is the current PTSA website that is published right now on the domain for CodeRVA. As you can see, it's very weird coloring patterns, and it's to me personally, it's not all that organized. It's a lot of open spaces. As you see over here, the rewards programs, it's just like step-by-step how to do it. It's not like click on pictures and stuff like that. We just thought, we wouldn't say it's like unprofessional, but we just thought it needed some enhancing and tweaking. So what we noticed is it has a dull interface and it just wasn't aesthetically pleasing. Bunch of excessive empty spaces, and it wasn't good looking. And further on into the website, it had a lot of incomplete information. Some of the links were broken and stuff like that. And a lot of the contact information for the PTSA board members were missing. So questions we considered while we were doing our project. The school, we always need more support. There's no such thing as no support, and we're always here to take it. So we were trying to find ways to streamline events and information via website, social media, email, etc. So we also had to figure out who is our audience and how do we connect them in ways that are meaningful. I mean, it could be a 10-year-old looking at the PTSA website and saying, hey, mom, we want you to donate to this, to the school because it looks like they do a lot of fun stuff and they need the fundings. And you could have someone's grandmother, it's just, we had to make it user-friendly for all ages. And we also tried to figure out if there's anything else that we can incorporate that would support our school as a whole. So this is the our current model website that we made right now. As you see, we changed the theme entirely. We just made the whole redesign for the website. We tried to implement our school colors into the website, but we just couldn't find a way to make it look professional. So we decided to go with like a dark theme. And as you see with the pictures right here, you click on those pictures for the promotions that we had in the previous website. And instead of the documents being on the left-hand side of each page, we just decided to put it on the PTSA page and put it in order by year. In the store, we have a donation button, and we have the merchandise as well. As you see on each page as well, we also have the social media, and we will be adding email listening soon. We just have to figure it out from there.
So my name is Ava Berger, and going off of what Josh said, we wanted to focus on creating a better user experience for the viewers to easier navigate, for the PTA to better manage and keep up to date, and of course, all while still looking pleasing to the eye. A few things we did want to change was the strenuous instructions on the donations to a one-click picture, updated the store and created a donation center alongside it, as well as take away any filler words or empty gaps to make that website easier to find exactly what you're looking for. Let me go in a bit more depth. Our main issue that we ran into was a color scheme. There's so many options and possibilities, but we were set on using something more cool tone and professional. We tried to use our school colors as a base for this, like the previous website did, but found it was just not working given the level of trustworthiness and aesthetic that we were looking for. The next thing we focused on was our donation page. While there was a regular shop in the last website, not everyone wants or can afford physical merch. So we hope by creating a separate yet simple section for our donations, we'll bring in more funds in a way that is easier for someone's budget. Finally, the social media aspect. Every good organization, whether it be local or corporate, needs an active social media. Our client has a social media, but it's not always the easiest to find. By putting a direct link to our socials at the header of each page, we hope it makes it easier to see exactly just what's going on. Throughout this project, each of us adapted a role. Josh was our head developer on the website. He did the technical work and helped to create an open line of communication within the group. My partner, Austin, and I had the role of giving the website personality. We recommended change when we saw fit and acted as a testing audience for new features added. Our designer, Hong Fet, was in charge of giving us direction, mainly when it came to logistics of theme or layout. Her research helped us pinpoint exactly what we need and what works in the real world and gave us a logic behind it. Finally, our second testing specialist and marketing consultant, Nigel, helped us test out any bugs or technical issues.
So our process, in the beginning, we just started on the project with many ideas, but we had to funnel it down to one idea that would be very impacting for our school. So it didn't take long to settle on what we needed the most, which was upgrading the PTSA website. So as the weeks progressed, we got more feedback on our first prototype website that we made. We actually had a website specialist, Mr. Hall. He kind of gave us more detail and gave us some notes and feedback saying, hey, why don't we just minimize what's on each page so it's not a bunchery and it's not just throwing stuff in your face, but it needs to be an impactful message within a short couple of sentences. So we took that advice and we made our website progress more, and we decided that, yes, that is a good idea. We need to make everything just very short and sweet, also impacting at the same time. And we got more feedback from our teachers, which was good feedback. And towards the end, we just made a couple of finishing touches, enhancing the website, just changing the colors around. And we also got some peer reviews, and we tried to make it look aesthetically pleasing. So trials and tribulations. So the first problem that we had was we used this server called Wix. It's a very easy website editing tool. It's not hard to operate. So the only issue with that was that Wix didn't allow for more than one person to work on a site at the same time. So in the beginning of the internship, we did not have the access to screen share due to some technical difficulties, and it just made it harder for everybody to to communicate. But as the internship went on, we finally got a way to share the screen and could all work on it at the same time. Second problem was we had trouble getting in touch with the PTSA. We reached out to a couple of teachers and staff to see if they had any contact information. And unfortunately, some of the contact information was invalid. So, and the third and final problem that we had was the color scheme. Like I mentioned earlier, it just didn't fit with the theme that we were trying to go for, but we also tried to keep, our school spirit within it. With the trials and tribulations, we also had some successes. All right, so our team communicated very well, and work became more efficient. Everyone in our team was well educated for this task, making it easier to complete. Me personally, I had some experience in HTML and CSS, but besides the point, we didn't really use it. But we all had this touch of decoration and made it look pleasing. So the third success was we quickly found a free and easy way to use a web designing site, just to make the process simpler for everybody. And we also included a survey at the end of the presentation, and if you would like, we can link it into the chat. And we are ready for questions, and thank you so much for listening.
I have a question.
What's up?
So, hey.
Hi.
So the word, so I thought it was really interesting when you used the word trustworthiness, like certain colors indicating a lack of trustworthiness. Is that, would you guys want to, so there's people in the room, that aren't as familiar with website development, like, are there certain things you learned about, maybe in your internship last year, something where that is a signal to people, or certain colors or designs or themes? Could you kind of elaborate a little on that?
I'll be more than happy to do that. So I took a cybersecurity course last year, and it was just all about security and what websites to go to, trusting, secure internet. And thank you to Miss Malbon. She kind of like said, you need to watch out for those websites that have this bright, flashing, very abstract colors, because those are the ones that will most likely get you in trouble or, scam you. As you see, like some pop-ups, PDF downloaders and converters, they're not really PDF converters. They're downloading viruses. They're bright green colors flashing in your face saying, hey, click me, or hey, this website's pretty cool, let's go to that. So yeah, that was just something we were trying to avoid. And as you see, like a lot more now with younger, like Gen Z and millennials, a lot of newer websites have the options of making themes darker, like for the website, because it can also be easy to look at with your eyes, because just sometimes bright colors on a computer screen can strain your eyes, me personally. So that's just something that we kept in mind. And yeah, so it's just, we thought that would have been a good idea, mainly for the website.
All right, I just want to jump in and say that Hong Fet also did some research on color theory and helped out with the decision on that. Not to take your words for you, Hong Fet, but I had to give you some credit there. And I believe, Miss Lawler, I saw you. I have so many pop-ups on my screen. Are you able to speak now?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Good. Looking forward to this.
Yeah. So are there any questions that you have for the current website that we produced? Is there any changes you think that would be better for the website or better for the users?
So I actually missed the demonstration part of the presentation. I didn't think it was going to start until 1:55.
Oh, that's totally fine. We can actually pull it up for you right now.
I apologize.
So this is our current website that the team created. We just, we really didn't have any pictures of the PTSA, so I just kind of looked up pictures of the school being involved in some special events and information. So, it's just a get involved homepage, social media on each page for you, logo and everything. And an about page is like a mission statement, what we try to strive for, how we would love for the year to progress with the PTSA. And PTSA page, it's got the news, but unfortunately on the old website, there was no news. So we just kind of implemented into that, and hopefully there will be some news to share. Mission statement again, like, hey, sign up for the email listing that we have for our school. Just more organized PTSA documents by the years. Some just click on promotions instead of the step-by-step how to do it.
Yes, I love those links.
Yeah, so that they work fully, but the only issue that we had was with the merchandise and the donations, because that stuff is in a secure domain, and it's it's people's privacy, like credit card information and billing and stuff like that. We you know, we're pretty much adults and some minors. We shouldn't have access to that, you know, because we shouldn't have bank statements and stuff like that. But we just kind of we made it like a, hey, here it is, but it doesn't really work. But we try to implement some of the old pictures onto the website. But yeah, as you can see, it didn't really go that well. Just a fake donation button because, you know, we can't access stuff like that. But all the social medias to our school listed up here, and the email listing is on the PTSA page.
This looks really good. I think the only thing that I would possibly add is, is a link to our PayPal to join, which I can send that information over. But other than that, I think this looks really, really good. Can I see the about page again? Really quick?
Sure. Yeah, it's just like a little statement that we just kind of made up.
I like the logo.
Yeah, we tried to put in the modern CodeRVA logo into our
Credit
website.
to Juan.
Yeah, credit to Juan. Thank you, Juan, for making this logo.
This looks really nice. This looks great.
Yeah, so we just try to make it like more modern, slick looking than, you know, versus the old website that was up. And no whoever created it, but
yeah, it wasn't me. So no, it was pretty bad. It was just lacking, not bad. But this is really good. So yeah, I would say if we could get a link to our PayPal, you know, the PayPal link, and then maybe put a like how to contact us thing in here. So maybe on like the about page, you know, like our emails or some, you know, something like that. But I really think that you guys did a great job. I like the look of it. It's real streamlined. So awesome job.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you, Group 4. Thank you for the feedback. Group 5. So let me make a note before Group 5 and 6 come on. Group 5 and 6 worked with Black Men Read, and Mr. Frazier and his team actually came this morning and gave students their specific feedback. And so they have an advantage here because they've already done it once, but they're still going to do it for you all and are open to any questions, as many as possible. Chase will handle those now. He actually made me say that I would tell you all to ask him as many questions as you have moving forward. So, Group 5.
Okay, can you all like hear me? Hello?
Yep, you're clear.
So Black Men Read, social media marketing. So our team, we have the head of socials, me, Chase Tucker. We have the social media strategist, Ethan Bridges, the social media influencer, India Candies, the social media advisor, Deja Bonner, and the social media analyst, Drake Burrington. So we were assigned to the group, the local nonprofit, Black Men Read, who are dedicated to decreasing the literacy rate in the Black male community while also making it fun and innovative. So our task, we were to look at previous Twitter analytics, research methods to improve their engagement, and strategize a plan for their future. Over the 6 weeks, that's exactly what we did. Okay, social media. We decided to focus on Twitter due to the majority of their consumers being like in the millennial to Gen X range, which is from the age of 21 to like 50. Using Twitter would allow us like the automatic connection to our target audience. So thanks to Hootsuite, a social media analytics website, we can now see our 2020 Twitter analytics. So over 2020, we had 1.3K tweets, which is a lot of tweets, good for us. And then we had 1.7 followers, again, woo. And then overall, we had an engagement of 6.7K. So these are our tweets from January 2020 to January 2021. And you can see that during the summer period, we had the most engagement with our tweets. And that's mainly because of the hashtag A Song Below Water contest, which led to a lot of engagement. And these are our followers. We've gained over 660 from January 2020. Yeah, from that period. And later in the presentation, we plan on showing you how you can gain more or what we recommend. And then these are engagements. So like likes, retweets, replies, you can see that in January, and then in the summertime, September, we have a high amount of engagement. And in the January period, that was mainly because you had, you posted about your the founder posted about their 7-year marriage with his lovely wife, and congratulations to them. Good job. Oh my gosh, not me being nervous. And according to Twitter, having posts with pictures, you're gonna do a 35% boost in retweets and likes in order to have engagement. In January and July, we're gonna show you how you can do that. Okay, what we recommend?
Using hashtags, posting polls, using a daily posting schedule, hosting volunteer and donor opportunities, and having a positive interaction with other brands and companies are some things we recommend to increase our Twitter engagement rate. So according to Twitter, hashtags receive a 16% boost. The broader the hashtag, the more likely people are to see it. So including a personalized hashtag would allow the post to be featured to select audiences. Twitter also has this feature where you can allow your followers and the rest of the Twitter community to vote on things like your favorite book to read or the favorite author or stuff like that. This would be an example of a posting schedule. So as you can see, it says the days of the week, and below that has certain things that they would want to post. According to the American Marketing Association, these are the best times to post. Posting at these specific time slots would allow more traction and engagement. There has been a linked correlation between incentives and motivation. So we believe that by posting opportunities for fellow volunteers and donors, it could draw in people. So that would be like hosting a luncheon at a park, or bring your own book, or a book party at a library, something like that. And some incentives would be to provide tickets to the events, small prizes, and convenient scheduling. Positively replying to other brands and followers can improve the chances that followers respond at a later point in time. And it could also create a better environment for our nonprofit. So additionally, encouraging and giving your followers a call to action can drastically improve engagement. However, this can be overdone. Here's some do's and don'ts. Some do's would be to use hashtags to reach more people, use optimal post times for tweeting, combine your tweets with a piece of content, whether it be a poll, link, image, or GIF, and to interact with other brands and followers. So by that, we mean to like their stuff, comment, retweet, share, stuff like that. Some don'ts: oversaturating your tweets by posting too much, using hashtags that don't relate to the post, forgetting to add personality, and posting something just to push something out. Now, any questions?
At least you're getting some claps from Ms. Goranson. Just a reminder that as it popped in, I think early, these groups presented already to their clients. So if you have any feedback or questions for them, feel free to ask those now.
I was curious, since we had two different groups working on social media, did you all ever find opportunities to collaborate, or did that generate healthy competition amongst the teams as you're looking for ways to approach the social media process?
We tried.
Okay, I like it, Nathan. Felt it was competitive. I was just curious if there was, that's great. You all know each other. I was just wondering since we had some different approaches to this process.
Yeah, I think that it created a healthy competitive environment as well. We didn't know that we were both working on social media from the start. We learned later on, and that helped nurture it and our client work.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ethan. Thanks, Deja.
I'll chime in. I'm Miss Shay. I get to be on the CodeRVA board, and so I'm so excited to see all of y'all's work today. I thought it was, y'all are far more of social media experts than any of us in our generation are. So I thought it was really helpful that you not only shared the dates and the times to post due to algorithms and the popularity, but also some suggestions of varied content to post it on various days to hit kind of a breadth of both information and personality. I think that's very helpful.
Thank you for your comment. We appreciate it.
And I would just like to add briefly, so some of the feedback that they received this morning was essentially that Mr. Frazier and his team were going to implement the strategies that were developed by Group 5 for a 60-day period. And we're going to keep them involved and connected throughout that process, getting their insights and then determining next steps. So I think that's it for Group 5. And we will finish off with Group 6.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm presenting now. Okay, I just had to make sure I had everything straight. Okay. So, good afternoon. We're the social media strategy for Black Men Read, and I'm Shamadre.
Nathan.
My name is
Heather.
Kayla.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
My name is Gerber, and although they are not here today, Emmanuel and Savannah are also part of our team.
Together, we have created a social media strategy for Black Men Read, who is our client. Their mission is to inspire literacy to communities of color. However, one big problem they have is a lack of outreach. Something like this can be fixed with a better understanding of social media. Social media is a great tool that can be used to interact with your audience, share ideas, and create announcements. What makes it great is its ability to increase awareness and act as a cost-effective source for advertising. But all these benefits won't really show if your outreach is small. So in order to gain a following, you're going to have to look at your analytics. Most social medias like Instagram will provide these to business accounts. So once you get that set up, you can accurately create posts that are interesting to your target demographic, as well as appeal to them. It is also important to post on a consistent basis so people will know when to expect information and posts. Engagement with your followers by responding to questions will definitely create a positive image among the community. So how did we test our assumptions? We made different polls on Instagrams asking our peers 3 different questions. The first question was, what grabs your attention on Instagram? Second question was, do you like when people constantly post? Third question was, would you be interested in joining Black Men Read, or interested in it in general? Here are our results. Most people said what grabs their attention on Instagram is when people post on their story, they have consistent posting, when people engage with their followers, a good background, so anything that's aesthetically pleasing, and quotes. Not sure what that means. And most people say they like when people post constantly, so I'm guessing this means they like having something to come to every time they go on their Instagram. And there is definitely a really good interest for Black Men Read right now.
So right here is a mock calendar we have invented or created for Black Men Read. This is basically saying what you'll do on a weekly basis depending on your social media. So let's say for Twitter, they'll speak mainly as Mr. Frazier and saying this is what's going on in the organization, speaking out to reach for members. So on Monday, we'll have the book of the week or highlight book of the week saying we'll have 4 different books saying this is for kids, this is for young adults, teens. This is a special different book like a comic book or a cookbook. And this will basically be what you'll post on Mondays on Twitter and Instagram. And then on Tuesday, on YouTube, we'll have a member of choice. So it'll be like a special member who read 10 books that week, or we'll have a member that had won a prize or won some type of event. And they'll have a video set for Tuesday, basically have them reading a book that will interest the people of Black Men Read. We'll have like other things. And then let's say we have Saturday books and bars, then you'll have on Sunday a post on Twitter basically reflecting on it, saying this is what happened at books and bars. This is who came out. We had 1,000 people show up today. Basically saying like this is what's going on, giving the organization liveliness, saying this, we're not a dead organization. We have members that's active and things like that. So this is some of the suggestions we came up with. We say keep the maximum of 5 highlights on Instagram because we found out that when you reach more than 5, the user gets overwhelmed and then things get kind of confusing when you look at Instagram. Keep the same background with uploading books. This will allow for books to be organized, be grouped. Let's say we have a brick background for books and bars, but we'll have a yellow background for the book of the week or the highlight book of the week. This will basically help users when they come to Instagram basically see the books about these books are connected, whereas these books are connected. Remember the main reason why you made the organization. Instead of trying to be so broad that you reach everybody, remember that you're here to improve the literacy rate of Black men. So don't try to make a cook video or don't try to branch so far out that people forget that you're trying to improve the literacy rate and that you're trying to pull in, let's say you're trying to pull in the next Gordon Ramsay by accident because you made a cooking video. Now you found somebody that's not interested in books. Now you feel like you've lost a member, but in reality, you didn't lose a member. You just pulled in the wrong type of crowd. Try to connect with other organizations to build your platform. So basically what we're saying is connect with like a Latino literacy group or try to connect with a woman literacy group, trying to be able to say we're all trying to improve the literacy rate as a group, as a whole, but individually our main priority is Black men on our own. And then don't post about information in the comment section. So this is basically what we're saying when it say keep the same background or keep the maximum 5 highlights. We don't want the user to be confused when they come to your website. We want to have a general idea and want that general idea to be kept available for the user. So when you're posting things in the comments, it's going to be hard for them to find. And then plus, if you do put it in the comment, you can link the website or you can say, hey, we have a website that you can go to for more information. And if it doesn't answer your question, then you can use the Q&A feature in our website. Basically saying. This is just some of the examples we were saying. So this was mean by the 5 highlights in the same backgrounds. So these 2 with the books and bars will be the blue and white saying, hey, this is for our school children. This is for our younger kids, reminds you of school walls. Or the one with the black power and the brick background, that's for more mature. This is for our older group. Because this is what it'll look like outside. You're walking down the sidewalk and you'll see a brick building. And then the 5 highlights, less confusion, more easy to understand what's going on. And for YouTube, one thing they lacked was a proper description. They just had a 1-sentence phrase saying, oh, this is what we're reading today. I feel like the description can be used to shadow people or be used to give people a reason to want to be a part of their YouTube and part of their social medias. And then the links, use emojis or links to liven up and give the description color instead of just having a bland gray and white description. And then this is also a content post plan. So let's say you don't want to follow the schedule exactly. You can say, we're going to post every day on Twitter to be able to say, we're going to keep Twitter alive, keep it going so it don't fall off. And then Instagram, you post 3 times a week. And then Facebook or YouTube, you'll post once a month, you'll post once a week on those 2. And then you can also set a custom date. Let's say you have an event and you feel like it's necessary, it's a necessity to post on one of those 3 social medias. Then you'll set a custom date saying, hey, instead of posting just on Friday, we'll post on Tuesday and Friday because we have an event on Monday that we would like to share on our social medias. And this is basically the strategy they'll be able to use moving on from after this internship if they don't want to work with us, if they want to work with us anymore. We'll break down the current social strategy. We'll figure out what is working, what is not working. We'll gain user feedback to fit users' need, implement new designs and improvements to the social team, and then update the social medias to fit the time of what's going on around them.
So basically going by monthly, we'll see what the user wants, what the user needs. It will basically update their social media depending on how far they need to go from where they're at now. And that is all we have. If there's any questions, we'll be available to answer them now.
I'm always happy to help with questions. So I just want to say I was really interested in this. Like some of the folks I know on the call, we run our own social media accounts, and I'm sitting here thinking that my dozens of followers are going to really benefit from sitting through these presentations and listening to them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this right. Like I feel like I could really broaden our base here. I love it just as the school and then as my own personal social accounts. I absolutely love this. And I really wanted to point out, I like your like mini action research that you were doing by putting it out to people to ask like, what do y'all like kind of thing. Like, I just think that's super cool just to get a quick like pulse check of what people would say on that. I just think that's a really neat way to go about this.
Thank you, Ms. Goranson.
I am with Ms. Goranson. I help do the social media for a local mom collective, and I'm like, oh, here are all these things making notes of all these things I need to know for the days I'm on social media. So I appreciate your crowdsourcing of information there. I particularly liked two things about your strategy, one of which was giving book suggestions with the themed backgrounds. I'm a very vigorous swiper in social media. I actually like pulled a muscle in my wrist last night with vigorous swiping. So I just try to like browse content as quickly as possible. And for me as a browser, that would be really helpful to know, if I'm looking at trying to find a book for my 9-year-old son, I'm going to look for something with XYZ background and help me filter information faster. So I think that's fantastic. And I also loved highlighting members. I think it makes organizations seem more accessible when it's not only featuring people from their leadership or their organization, but also, members that are, just like everybody else on the social media that's accessing it and, kind of things to strive to. So I love those pieces of your strategy.
I have a question for Group 6.
Yes,
I really loved that you all talked about having the group partner with similar organizations. And I also loved that you did reach out to your peers to get feedback about what they like to see in social media. And I'm wondering if you spoke with the organization about who they partner with and how they might help cross promote with their partner orgs.
Okay, yeah. So they do actually have a sister organization where they work with a bunch of females. Then they realize like that's one of their main problems. Like they want to attract Black men, but they have lately been attracting a lot of Black women. So they're realizing like, hey, we may need to branch out. We might need to go to a sister branch to say, hey, let's get some of your sons and some of your husbands or fathers and things like that. Be like, hey, you have a bunch of Black men connected to you. So it's like, can we please bring those Black men to us? You will work on them and you'll work on your females. We're going to like basically work together. So we gave them ideas like a joint book club saying, bring your husband, bring your kids. While they're reading, we're going to read and while doing all things together. Basically like, yeah, that's another way of connecting.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, thank you to all of the student groups and the clients again. Thanks for all the great questions. And we are early, but we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the Passion Project presentations. We have about a 10-minute video that shows some of the projects. And then I just wanna say beforehand that the groups really enjoyed the Passion Project, but we put the client work section first, obviously. But I think there is something for us to learn about the Passion Project. Kids got excited about these in a way that they just couldn't get about the client work. And I think that speaks to the innate curiosity we all have to do something and make a contribution in a way that is unique to us. And so with that preface, I'd like to share the Passion Project videos.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Kunkel, and I have worked with Chase, Terriker, and Terraturner on a social media platform for CodeRVA. During the COVID-19 pandemic, participating in school events such as Spirit Week was a struggle for most students. The school had the idea of having students post their Spirit Week looks on social media platforms such as Instagram and Twitter. However, many students do not have access to social media, or they choose not to post about their school life on their personal accounts. We came up with a solution that will allow for a school-friendly version of social media called CodeRVA Connect. After signing up, which you can do here, or logging in, you will be taken to the homepage where you can see the feed of students, clubs, and teachers you follow. This would be the feed, following, etc. There will show posts that can help with reminders for events and also a forum for students to post questions that they need help with. When viewing comments, students can reply with their feedback or get help from other students or teachers on the same problems they're struggling with. Students can view their own profiles or other student profiles to see their posts organized in one place. Notifications tab will allow students to see what people are commenting, liking, and sharing from their profile. This social media site is great for concerned parents to not have to worry about kids being exposed to inappropriate content. Administrators were also able to monitor the participation events. Students won't have to worry about posting school information on their personal accounts, and Yearbook Club will have access to photos that may be difficult or even impossible to take due to COVID-19. Thank you.
Hello, for my passion project, I decided to make a website that lists cafes that are aesthetically pleasing. What led me to my idea exactly is my need to solve these two problems. First off, where exactly I should go, and second, whether the cafe is aesthetically pleasing. Sure, Yelp has plenty of cafes, but what's the fun in going to a cafe if it's not pretty? As I said earlier, I created a website that lists cafes that are aesthetically pleasing. Here you have the prototypes, the home page, a page that lists all the cafes, a page for each cafe, a social media page, and the settings where you can tweak the appearance a bit. What exactly makes this different though? It's for cafes in Richmond and Northern Virginia specifically. There's a focus on aesthetics. I'd say the social aspect of it all is more in-depth. It takes in accounts of reviews from multiple sources such as Yelp and Google, and there's more UI customization. That's pretty much it. Thanks for listening.
Hello, I'm Ethan, and this is Nathan. Hey! Many games focus on fast and easy to pick up gameplay. However, while doing so, they completely ignore part of the market that focuses on story-driven games. With our unique approach with more of a narrative take as well as fun gameplay, we can cater to this market. We are talking about our game, Oni. The lead protagonist's own Paco, a master swordsman, gets into a serious injury, defending his homeland from invaders, which results in him being placed into a coma-like state. In order to wake up, he has to battle his own demons and escape from his infernal state. And here is our prototype. We have options, window mode, resolution, and volume. New. And this is our level select, with this being the end boss. So let's start on level 1. This is our loading screen. And this is our map.
Welcome to Raptor Safe Place. My name is Michaela Nelson, and my group members are India Candies and Kayla Brown. So during this pandemic, people have been experiencing very bad effects, some good. One of the major bad ones is mental health. Reason for the website Mental health has really caused a lot of stress, loneliness, and depression towards many, especially teens. So the issue with this is that not a people have support and during these times and they need support. So what we decided to do was make a website where they can have support and get help if needed. So ours is different because we specifically did ours for CodeRVA students, where this will potentially be on our CodeRVA website is what we are hoping to do. And that is it. And I will show you the website now. This is an overview of the website. We chose CodeRVA colors. I will be giving y'all the link so that you can go to the website on your own. There's the contact information from our counselors. And the coping methods are here. You can click on them and you can get a video.
I want to become a doctor. And I was like, well, when you're ordering food, it takes a long time. And you have to order from this menu that doesn't have pictures, and it takes like 20 to 30 minutes for your food to come. So I was like, how about I make an app where you can order food that's like in the hospital for nurses and patients too. And it shows you the picture of the food, what you'll be ordering.
Are you scared to go to the gym alone or simply need some motivation? This is where SpotMe comes in. We at SpotMe had a new approach into the world of fitness, not worrying about the average features that other apps hold, rather have looked into the fun part of the gym, your friends. SpotMe allows you to find new partners to work out at the tip of your fingers, connecting gym fanatics all around the world in one convenient app. Punch in your location, interests, and availability, then let SpotMe do the rest. Finding hundreds of candidates working out in nearby gyms just for you. If you find someone that has similar goals within their profile, simply shoot them a text, meet up, and then get to the grind. You might ask, why SpotMe when there are thousands of other apps to connect each other with? Well, SpotMe sees you as a person rather than just a user. Our app allows for a less competitive nature and a more wholesome experience across all levels of gym community, from beginners to seasoned veterans. Keep track of your workouts with our pre-built-in activity tracker and share them with others. All fitness apps have the same features except one, the ability to connect people on a much deeper level than just a picture on the screen. SpotMe is where casual meets consistency. It's a no-brainer. SpotMe. Get started today.
And this is about a game we created called the Fall Game. So the Fall Game, what is it? So it's just basically it's a game made in Java. In a ball, the ball just moves down an obstacle course. And you got to avoid it before it goes up into the frame, and that's how you die in the game. But we just decided to do some very basic coding just to raise awareness that, hey, it's not hard to do. So we decided to use Replit for our platform, and we were very successful with it, making the website and the video game. So Drake made the website mostly, and I created the video game. We just combined it all together on one website. You just click on the link, and it'll take you to the website. And then, as you see, like I said, you just try to avoid the obstacles. So you just get the ball, and you have to go through these little slots before it goes up into the tick frame. And from there, it's just a very easy game. It's a slow speed. It keeps your score for you, and if you want to beat it. So, like I said, it's just here to raise awareness and just show that game developing can be easy.
Hello, everybody. We are Healthy Earth. My name is Zachary.
My name is Nigel.
What is our problem? We can all agree on something that we want our Earth and as well as our animals to be protected. Over the past years, climate change has really affected our environment. People are constantly using products that are actually harming the environment, such as plastic bottles and plastic straws.
Some solutions that we can do a different type of material such as paper straws and metal flask.
You can also use recyclable products such as recycled sandwich bags, glass bottles, and glass jars that are better for the environment. The reason why our prototype is different from others is because we allow other users to sell their products and also sell multiple items involving with saving the environment.
So this is the homepage of our prototype. This is the buyer page 1, buyer page 2, the seller page, and the final page. If we all come together, we can make a healthy earth.
Hello, my name is Kendall Towns, and my team and I created an app that is called Where's My Ride? Have you ever had to patiently wait for your parents to come pick you up without knowing how far away they were when you were a child? Did you have others around you ask you questions like, when will they get here and how long will they be? You tried calling and texting them with no response, and you just had to wait and see? Well, we created an app that is called Where's My Ride that is helpful for children in situations like these so they can visually see and track where their trusted ride is. Our child-friendly app is able to tell you where your parents or trusted ride is located, with our app separating itself from others because it is free, includes mini-games, and is child user-friendly. By keeping track of both the child and parent's location, the app notifies the child of their ride's distance. As they wait, they can earn points for mini-games, which allows the child to stay occupied until arrival. Here are some of the other main components of our prototype: the sign-up page, the rider or driver page, and the chat feature page. Where's My Ride provides where you are when they need it so that your child never has to wait without knowing again. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, everyone. So those were the passion projects. I'd love any thoughts that you all may have for the students that were in these videos. I'll open it up for just a couple minutes to make some closing remarks and we'll move on.
I've been saving my remarks towards the end, but I just want to say you guys have done an amazing job from your group projects to your individual passion projects. It's amazing to see like all of the work that goes into planning the internship program and the anxiousness of you all starting the program. Like, what are we going to learn? What are we going to do? And just you all asking us, like, when does it start? What are we doing? What organizations are we working with? To seeing like this final project. And I really commend you all, and looking at the growth from, I know I wasn't here when you started in 9th grade, but the growth from the time that I've been here to now. So it's amazing. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Vest, for the direction, and Mr. Ellis.
Yes, Gregory Perham, Upsilon Nu. Again, I would ditto that young man that just spoke. I think our youth are amazing. I think our world is in good hands. And so I look forward to them continuing to be creative and continue to push the envelope. The sky's the limit, and I'm excited. I'm just excited about being a part of this committee today, and just hearing what the young people are doing. Continue working and networking and caring about one another, and continue doing great things. Thank you.
Definitely want to echo that idea. I was really impressed in the passion projects portion of the projects related to other people and the idea of serving and meeting needs of others. Like, I was super impressed. I thought that was wonderful. I was looking at the games and I was thinking out loud, Mr. Stevens and Mr. Vest, won't this be a good idea? What if we were able to link in these games that were made to our website for prospective students? How cool would it be for students to see, like, hey, while you're looking through our website, you can try out this game or something. Like, I was thinking that would be really neat. And just, I was laughing about the spot meet. Like, the idea of interacting with anyone at a gym is my nightmare. It's the only place I'm introspective. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm an introvert. So I was just giggling to myself as I'm watching that video, which was hilarious, that like this would literally be the worst thing ever, is if someone's trying to find me and talk to me while I'm at the gym. But really fantastic. I'm so proud today. I really am. I'm so proud of what all of the work of these students, even though I know we have someone here that are not speaking. That's not their call in life. They don't really love the camera. But I know they've been working hard, and so I don't want them to be forgotten, those who have not necessarily had a speaking role. I know that all of our students were contributing, but really impressed with those who presented today and really with the projects here. So great work.